What's going on, guys? It's Lecton here, and today I'm going to be ranking the maps from worst to best. And of course, before I go through ranking all of them, I want to say this is all subject to my own opinion. You guys are allowed to have different opinions. You know, we all have different play styles and different guns that we enjoy. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's get right into it. So coming in at last place of the Area 51 revamp. Like, this map, it took everything that was good about the original map and it threw it out the window. For one, it made it so much bigger on a much larger scale, and there's so many aesthetics, and while they look cool, they definitely hurt the gameplay a lot. And not to mention, one of the best things about the original map was that there was like no verticality to it, and it was just a straight map except for like that, you know, one tower where the hill was and like a few of the buildings surrounding it. That was it. And on this map, verticality is everywhere. Like, you can jump on the UFO that's in the middle of the map. There's like all these metal beams that you can walk on, and it just completely destroys what was so good about the original. Now, coming in at 14th place, we have Chernobyl and Legacy Chernobyl. Now, in my opinion, what's not so great about these maps is they are purely just for close quarters combat. Like, it's pretty much impossible to do anything else except run like an SMG, shotgun, or like whatever you use for your close combat engagements, because the only time you'll see someone is at a close range. Like, there's no long range sight lines, it's purely close range, which is good to some extent, but for me as like a sniper, I don't really enjoy it all too much. And with like the way that some of the obstacles are around like the map, it can just become super annoying to fight people. Plus, it's pretty easy to spawn trap on this map, which is another thing I don't like about it too much. Now, Rocket Facility is at 13th place, not because I hate it all too much. Like, it's an okay-ish map, but just because of how easy it is to spawn trap. And if you get into that spawn trap, you have to hope that the spawns flip and that you can get out of that like really quickly, or else like it's just gonna turn into one team spawn trapping the other the entire game. Not to mention, again, it's like pretty much only for close range combat, but it does have a pretty cool trick shot spot on it, so I guess that's a good thing. Now, Soviet Square, this is one of the newer maps, you know, and as we all know, like, the newer maps, they just keep on getting bigger and bigger. Eventually, we're gonna have a map big enough for a battle royale, but anyways, Soviet Square, the problem with this map is on like the sides, there's like no cover at all, and it's just like this long sight line with no cover, and you have to hope that you can sort of snake your way through there on like the sides where there's like nothing really happening, and hope that you can get into the enemy spawn, and that's what you'll have to do if you want to flank. And then if you just want to go straight down the middle, it's pretty much only close range combat again. It's just the sight lines and everything are just super unbalanced and weird. Not to mention, like, the spawns are they're somewhat easy to spawn trap since it's just one like building essentially where everyone spawns. But I mean, other than that, it can be somewhat okay to snipe on, but at the same time, just not really. Waterways is one of those maps. It's just one of those maps that's so forgettable in the game. Like, I forget it's in the game pretty much every time. I mean, it's a pretty balanced map, but it's super easy to just hold certain spots. Like, if you're like, you can just get on a building or whatever, and you can just hold off like an entire spawn area. And when I find myself playing the map, I find myself playing the same angles over and over again, because there's like this one piece of cover that I can use to fend off this one spot of the spawn or something like that. And I just find myself in those spots every single time. And it would be nice to have like some more options from where I could hold enemies. So even that, if I get pushed, I have something to fall back on. But instead, it's just, if you're getting attacked, you have to hope that the enemies miss their shots while you run away, or either try and fight them. Now, Factory. Verticality actually somewhat works on this map, and it's not as like huge and ginormous as the other maps, but like pretty much half of the map isn't even used. Like, it's only like the middle and the two spawns that are even used. I feel like there's like this whole part of the map that's just completely forgotten by everybody. And not to mention, the spawns are super unbalanced. One lets you literally spawn like 10 meters above where everyone else is, and the other one puts you like 10 meters below where everyone else is, and the enemies will just be able to fend off from a high ground area. And then, of course, you know, like the other spawn, you guys can just so easily get rid of people trying to spawn trap you, because you're literally spawning on the high ground. Now, at number 9, we have Storage. And now I'd say everything after this map, including this map, are maps that I would consider to be good. Now, Storage is like a better version of Soviet Square, basically, where it has those two long sight lines on the sides, and in the middle it's like only close quarters combat. But the reason this works is because instead of it just being one open sight line, there's like tons of cover, so you can also have like CQC fights there, you can just snipe, and there's these cool silos that you can climb on and go for trick shots or whatever. And it's just overall a pretty fun and balanced map. And one more thing I do want to mention about it, it does have like this spot in the middle that you can climb up on, and it'd probably be like really broken map if everybody used that one spot that you can climb up on in the center and just like hold off both spawns like really easily. but no one ever uses it, including myself. I just forget it's there every single time. Now, I don't really have much to say about Tides. It's a fun sniping map, works well for CQC, so I don't have my issues with it. My only problem with it is the ship that's on the map. Like, you guys know, like, the broken down ship that's near one of the spawns, and it's so easy to spawn trap that team, and I don't know, it's just so unfun. Every time I go up there, there's like 20 enemies camping there, either with like katanas or like, I don't know, a Galil or something, and that is like my only problem with the map. Other than that, it's super enjoyable and fun. At number 7, we have Courtyards, and even though it's a really big map, and I generally have my problems with these like super large maps, like half the map isn't used, you know, like some of the other maps I mentioned, so I can have like my fun engagements while not having to track down every single enemy, and hopefully like, you know, just end up finding a group of them so that I can have like some fun killing like at least more than one person at a time. But I mean, if people were to utilize like the entire map, it'd probably be something I wouldn't enjoy as much. At number 6, we have Brazil and Legacy Brazil. So I just put both of these maps together. Like, even though they're not like exactly the same, I'd say they're close enough to the point where I can put them both at the number 6 spot. And they're just fun maps. Like, I don't have much to say about them. They don't have much verticality, which I like, and it's just fun to snipe on both of them. Cairo. This map, this is a good map, okay? It is a amazing map for sniping, for close range combat, and the verticality on it surprisingly works very well. Now, number 4, I have something that might surprise you guys. Trainwreck. I know that a lot of people don't like this map, but since it's one of the smaller maps in the game and it has almost no verticality, I really like it, okay? It's fun for sniping. It has like those long sight lines and stuff, and with like the way the spawns work, I mean, again, it's just one of those maps where it feels like it should be really easy to spawn trap people, but it just doesn't happen. At number 3, we have Legacy Canals and Runoff. And Runoff is basically just like the reskin of Canal, so that's why I put them both at the number 3 spot. And I know I've been saying this a lot, but there's like nothing bad to say about these maps. They're amazing. They're good for CQC. And considering it's at the top 3, you know, it's obviously one of my go-to maps for sniping, and I just love sniping on it so much. And the layout just works really well for like whatever gun you want to use. So yeah, other than that, really nothing much to say. At number 2, I have Arena. Do I really need to explain? And at number 1, we have Legacy Area 51. It's the best map for literally anything. Sniping, you know, using an SMG, an AR, a shotgun, anything. King of the Hill is so chaotic and fun, like with everybody running around in that one small spot around the hill, and with literally zero verticality except for that one part by the hill. It just becomes such a fun map to use any gun on, and there's so many fun engagements on it. I don't have anything bad to say about it, actually.